Okay, so first, I want to be the first person to tell you that I was wrong. I genuinely thought that Konami did a really good job at preemptively hitting the tier limit cards that would not be a tier 0 format. Unfortunately, this Master Duel ban list just kind of proves me wrong and the statistics that we've had for a long time. What's going on with you guys? Master Duel Cali here, excited to bring to you the new Master Duel ban list and my thoughts on it. Let's go over it together to see exactly what's going on and my thoughts and opinions on this particular upcoming format. Okay, as you guys know, we normally do get a forbidden list for Master Duel every single month. This one is going to be expected to go into effect on April 2023, or April 30 of 2023. Holy, imagine if it took a whole year. And there's going to be some cards that are going to be banned, limited, semi-limited, and unlimited that will have a huge impact on the Yu-Gi-Oh game. Let's go ahead and jump on in. We have compiled the trends and results of the decks in ranked duels and will limit cards in decks with outstandingly high usage rates and win rates in line with their impact on the metagame. Immediately, I gotta say, I was wrong. Even Konami is now seeing the implementation of tier limits into Master Duel being so powerful that this forbidden list has to be focused on it. The change made to this list reflects our aims in preventing decks from being too difficult to counter and ensuring the game's tactical element is not being compromised by overly short duels. Holy, yo. Cards affected by this forbidden list will be color labeled blue as follows. Blue cards for the maximum number of copies has decreased. White cards for which the maximum number of cards have increased. Okay, so cards to be forbidden. Instant Fusion. I don't think they're actually going to give us a reason why they're banning Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is actually a huge hit to tier limit. And the reason why is because it is a one card special summon tier limit Kid Kalos to your side of the field, which means that they can either get a search or a send to the graveyard for another fusion summon, and typically players would use instant fusion to summon Kid Kalos to be able to get Merly to their hand, and then using the effect of Kid Kalos to tribute or to send itself to the graveyard to summon Merly, you'd be able to send 8 cards from your deck to your graveyard, which is 1/5 of your deck if you're playing a 40 card deck. That is normally like enough to get you started. So I actually really do like the hit to instant fusion. I would have loved a hit to Kid Kalos, but I understand that that's a little bit new. There are some strategies that Instant Fusion banned actually does hurt. A deck that comes to mind is Thunder Dragon, being able to summon a common area attack to your side of the field and then change it into a Thunder Dragon Titan. I know that that isn't being used a lot and Thunder Dragon isn't a very played deck, but Instant Fusion does hit some of those other decks too, where we already know the problem isn't necessarily, well, I mean, Instant Fusion is problematic, but the problem for this time isn't necessarily Instant Fusion, it is definitely tier limit Kid Kalos. So let's go to cards to be limited. King of the Swamp and Foolish Burial Goods. Holy, this is actually a really good hit in my opinion. I think King of the Swamp is actually one of the best cards for the deck. And the reason why is because they took away tier limit names, it gives them the consistency that they need to be able to fusion summon still with King of the Swamp, being able to substitute itself for another name, like if you're going for Kaleido Heart, or potentially just going straight into Rukalos, which prevents you from being Nibiru'd and stuff like that. I think King of the Swamp hit is extremely good. And my personal list that I showed you guys on stream actually ran 3 copies of King of the Swamp because it was just such an uberly consistent card and allowed you to make plays. As well as Foolish Burial Goods. It seems like a lot of decks that are using these cards are going to get punished because of tier limits, and I personally don't like that. But I also understand that tier limits have been out for like 15 days, so you can't necessarily hit tier limits just yet. So Foolish Burial Goods is really good for tier limit because they will send cards like tier limit Sui to the graveyard to be able to get a free search, and that gets them started. Or they can send their other tier limit cards to the graveyard like tier limit Screen to be able to gain a trap card from their deck to their hand. Just a really, really powerful card. So as you can see right now, it seems like they're starting to hit the consistency of tier limit while not hitting tier limit itself. Personally, I would have said ban Kid Kalos, put the tier limits to 1. Let's just move to the next format. But some people are actually enjoying this type of format. And if you guys are enjoying this format, go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section. But cards to be semi-limited is Change of Heart. Holy, that's really interesting. And I find it really interesting is because Mind Control is a worse Change of Heart and is still limited. So I don't know what to think about Change of Heart actually being semi-limited as opposed to limited when Mind Control is an infinitely worse card than Change of Heart. There's no benefits to have Mind Control on the list and Change Your Heart. I always thought that Mind Control would at least come down to 2 before Change Your Heart, but here we are now. Maybe it's Konami trying to sell to the more nostalgic players, as we know that Change Your Heart is a very nostalgic card, a very popular card in the card game. Maybe Mind Control is not an ultra rare. I can't think of it right now. Maybe if it's a super rare and Change Your Heart's an ultra rare, that would be a real big reason. But I genuinely don't see a reason to semi-limit Change Your Heart while still having Mind Control limited. Oh my God, holy, this is good. Cards for the limit, they will be lifted. So these cards will be unlimited off the forbidden list. You can play as many copies as you want to, obviously up to 3. Sky Striker Ace Kagari, Thunder Dragon Hawk, Fire Formation Tenki, and Supreme King Darkworm. Those are actually really interesting unlimits. Sky Striker Ace Kagari, now that you have Sky Striker Mobilize engaged to 2, and Sky Striker Ace Kagari, this is probably the strongest version of Sky Strikers. I can't necessarily remember exactly how the OCG has it. Maybe they have 3 Kagari as well as the 2 Mobilize Engage as well. But if not, this is the strongest version of Sky Striker that we have in any platform. The OCG, the TCG, and well, of course, Master Duel. And that would be really interesting to see. I can see Konami going towards a boost to Sky Strikers because not only do they have Kagari, they also have Change Your Heart. Change Your Heart will allow you to take your opponent's monster like a tier limit Root Kalos or a Kaleido Heart and then link it off with a Sky Striker monster to Zeke. And then you can then follow up by linking into another Sky Striker monster to continue on with your plays and also put a spell card in your graveyard. So Change Your Heart is actually really secretly good for the Sky Striker strategy. Thunder Dragon Hawk, this card is a card that I don't even know why it was hit in the first place. Thunder Dragons were really good back in 2019. We're in 2023, which is like 4 years later. So Thunder Dragon Hawk is a card that sat on the forbidden list because it was easy to make Thunder Dragon Colossus. But after looking at Yu-Gi-Oh for so long, you obviously see that not every deck is even trying to play Thunder Dragon Colossus because while it is a powerful card, it's not a game-breaking Yu-Gi-Oh card that every single deck can play. Fire Formation Tenki also being off the list. This is another card that was really interesting. Just hitting some of those older decks like Tri Brigade with Fire Formation Tenki hit. This card coming off the list is huge for Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast decks, Tri Brigade. And that's pretty much it. Maybe a Scareclaw Tri Brigade deck could be able to thrive under Fire Formation Tenki to 3. I think that this is really good. And then next is Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. I actually think that Supreme King Dragon Darkworm is extremely good for more decks than just Pendulum. The reason why is because with Destrudo and Supreme King Dragon Darkworm off of the forbidden list, or now Darkworm being unlimited, alongside of Dragon's Ravine and Ancient Fairy Dragon, there's a really cool combo where if you draw the Darkworm or the Destrudo, you can send the other to the graveyard with Ravine and get a free Ancient Fairy Dragon to your side of the field without committing a normal summon, which equates to searching another field spell card. It would be really interesting to see if Tier Limit tries to do that to search for Primitive Planet Perlino to be able to get into their plays, but ultimately that line is there now that Darkworm is at 3. The combo can be a lot more consistent. That's pretty much all that we have for him. So you do get a dismantling bonus if you have these cards. 20 crafting points bonus. Okay, 20 crafting points bonus. If you have a card like Instant Fusion being forbidden, you'll get the full 30 points back for decrafting the card. Same thing with King of the Swamp and Foolish Burial Goods. That's actually really cool. I really like that Konami does implement that, and I hope that that never goes away. Other than that, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I will be streaming in, well, when this video goes up, I'll probably be streaming at that time. So go ahead and catch me on Twitch on the Cali Effect. I hope to see you there, and I'll catch you on the next video. I do think that this forbidden list is really interesting, but go ahead and let me know what you think.